Train is rather special because, unlike many, this has been the first of a new scheme that allows this train to operate with a special reduction in its track access fees for the first 6 months. I'm sure Paul will talk more about that. And that's been really pivotal to allowing us to build the confidence to get this train launched, so we can bring the customers on board and grow it over the next 6 months. I dare say without that scheme, we wouldn't have been standing here today. So I'm not going to go on for any great amount of time, because there's plenty of others to speak. But to say a big thank you on behalf of Freightliner and everyone involved in this that's got us to this stage, because it's only possible for collaboration and teamwork. And this magnificent town, I can see there's plenty of opportunity for the future. So I'd like to now pass on to John Frank. John, here you are.
Yes, good afternoon everyone. Thank you for joining. I think this is a quite special and exciting moment also for the train market. We've been running trains, own trains across Europe for many years. I think today in Europe we have 29 trains a week moving with containers and trailers for our customers and all focused on the UK market. So now being able to add a service within the UK is a great extension to our multimodal network that we have. So as Tim mentioned, this cannot be made by a single person, so there are a lot of parties involved, starting between us and our target customer Nestle, with whom we have worked over the last 3-4 years in supporting them on the decarbonisation strategy that they have. I think it's a very ambitious strategy and we are proud to be part of that. So most thanks of course goes to Nestle from my side, but also to Network Rail, as mentioned by Tim. Without their support and a strong collaboration between ports, governments, logistic providers, customers, I think this will be never been achieved. So thank you once again to be here today. It's typical UK weather, so I need to hand over to someone else, I think, but I don't know to whom. Katrina, help? Ross.
So good afternoon everyone, Ross Pissick, Director of Unitise for Ports. I'll say thank you to Ian for holding the show literally together at this stage. But as a business, we've set a really ambitious decarbonisation agenda, and we absolutely see rail as a huge component of that. And that's why you see the terminal behind you there in T2, but also our bulks terminal, and investments we've made right across the business to support decarbonisation. Echoing the comments of Tim and John, really big thank you to everyone that has been involved in trying to pull this together. I know it's been an incredibly tough bit of work, but it absolutely shows the value of collaboration. Now, as a business, we're very focused on the long-term decarbonisation targets that have been set by the UK government and absolutely support that. But I think we have to acknowledge is, with these big targets, we need big interventions as well. And so absolutely thank Network Rail for what they've done to help get this particular service up and running, but I hope it is one of many interventions and steps in the process that we see in the years upon us. So I'd like to pass over to Paul from Network Rail. Thank you very much.
I'm Paul McMahon from Network Rail. I'm Planning and Regulation Director, and in a previous life I was Managing Director of Freight as well. So last time I was at Tilbury was about a decade or so ago. I think much of it's already been said. In Network Rail we put a huge amount of effort in trying to support freight on the network, day in, day out, reliable services, delivering freight punctually, and much more besides. We're acutely conscious that freight wants to grow, freight needs to grow, the country needs freight to grow over the next few years, and we've got a fairly tough target on ourselves to support freight growth over the current 5-year regulatory control period. And there's a lot of things that we need to do, there are a lot of things we need to do in collaboration with the sector to make that growth happen over the next few years. And we're absolutely delighted that the freight access charge discount policy that we've put in quite rapidly, actually. We worked it up over the last few months at real speed, and a lot of things like this typically in the UK might take months if not years to come together. But it was something we were thinking about with the freight team in the company, what we can do to what policies we can do, what initiatives we can introduce to help growth rate over these 5 years. But we were sort of challenged in a very positive sense by Freightliner. Freightliner came to us and said, right, well, why don't you look at this discount policy? So there was actually quite a nice meeting of the minds, and that made it a bit easier. And we've done it very quickly, and we're absolutely delighted to see this train come together. We'll see the service start, and hopefully it's going to be a real success for everybody involved, and it'll have a long, successful life. Thank you.
Okay, and look, this is the official launch today. The train actually had a soft start last week, and since its inauguration last Monday, over 130 containers have been carried between here and Manchester. And of course that means that 130 lorry movements have been saved. So when you start working out the CO2 benefits of that, 76% less CO2 per mile, per tonne that's moved by rail rather than road, you can see it's already having a big impact. So this really is the start of something. And Paul, the second application for the next track access discount is with you. So can we take a moment before it starts raining again, and let's go and cut the ribbon. Thank you.